Yeah, my name is Dr. Michael Durant, and I'm a lecturer in early modern literature at Bangor University. I've been visiting the archives as both a lecturer and a researcher. So, as a lecturer, I've been teaching in the archival space for the past 4 or more years, usually with MA students who are doing archival research, but I also bring in undergraduate students to help complement their study of early modern literature by looking at rare books and manuscripts. And as a researcher, I've been using Bangor's archives and special collections. In particular, I've been using the collections of early printed books. So, the books that I've been looking at primarily as part of my research have been early modern printed Bibles and prayer books, the majority of which are Protestant Bibles and prayer books, both in English and the Welsh translations that we have. I've been looking in particular at the way in which early modern readers read their books, how they manipulated the physical form of their books in order to suit different kind of reading agendas. And more broadly, my research is around materiality of printed book objects, the physical form that they take. So I'm really interested in the ways in which the physical form of a printed book shapes the way you read it, and the way in which readers reshape the physical form of their books as they go through that process of reading. So Bangor's Archives and Special Collections is full, I think, of a wealth of untapped resources in this particular area. So many Bibles and prayer books that, not unusually for the period, contain these traces of early readers' marks. And I'm interested in exploring what they can tell us about their reading protocols. In terms of favourites, there are two books that I looked at fairly recently. They're two copies of the Welsh language Book of Common Prayer, which were originally printed in 1664. And what makes them interesting for me is that they contain evidence of readers going into their books and repairing missing or damaged printed pages with manuscript substitutes. So one of the copies of this 1664 Welsh language prayer book has a manuscript title page in place of the old printed title page. Another has a page which has been reproduced from a little further within the book, in which a reader has gone in and attempted to emulate the printed conventions of the page, but by hand. So they're creating, in effect, their own printed ornaments, but they're adding their own personal spin to that. So I'm interested in what those replacement pages tell us about what early modern readers thought was important about their printed books, but also how, again, through that process of reading and book use, they rework their books into more personalised objects. And I just think those books in particular give you this fascinating sense of the reader's presence. Even though they're both really old books, you see these acts of reworking and suddenly they feel alive with an early user's attempts to repair and to mend it. And that, I feel, is almost quite an emotional thing when you see these objects. And I've shown them to students too, and they respond really well to this. The past isn't that distant anymore when you see these acts of reworking. I think for me, what makes Bangor's Archives so special is really the people who work there, who are so welcoming, so knowledgeable, so helpful. My own engagements with the archives at Bangor really wouldn't be successful without all of the knowledge that's already there from the people who work within that archival space. And that's one of the things for me that makes it such a joy to be there as a researcher and as a teacher. And I think, as I said before, one of the things about the archives from my perspective, looking at early modern printed books, is that there really is a kind of wealth of resources available in the archives, some of which is untouched, really, and it's just kind of waiting there for people to explore and to think more clearly about kind of the way in which this archive has been an important part of the local community as well in this part of Wales. But overall, I think the archive is the people who work there, and why it's been special for me is being able to meet all the people who have given me more knowledge and more help to be able to access that space and to utilise it in my research and my teaching.